anybody in your family that had anything to do with it should be held responsible. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And that includes you, doesn't it?
Anyone who's responsible.
Since day one of trial, Donna has already blamed Charlie, for example, saying that it's Charlie's money. Charlie's the one that paid the hitman. Charlie's the one that directed her to write these checks to Catherine McBenoit. And then she also throws Wendi under the bus, saying that Wendi was the one that wanted Dan Markel murdered. Harvey's also been thrown under the bus as well, and Harvey is her husband, saying that, well, these emails, the state that are alleging that came from Donna, well, it was a shared email. It could have been Harvey or it could have been Donna. Who knows? I mean, who's next? The grandchildren? Now, we're in day 2 of Donna Adelson's trial, and today we have a lot of very interesting witnesses. They go through the emails of Donna Adelson between her and her daughter, Wendi. Wendi actually testifies today, and then we also hear another testimony from another family member, Rob Adelson, the one who has distanced himself from the crazy Adelson family because he doesn't want to be involved in their family schemes and their batshit crazy stuff. Our first witness of the day is going to be witness number 7, I think that's correct, Jason Newland, who works for the state prosecutor's office. Now, Jason is going to go through the divorce filings between Wendi Adelson and her husband, Dan Markel, at the time. Of course, they were separating. And Donna's going to be the one who is going to be handling this. Now, they're going to make sure that Donna has a connection to these emails because when they go through Wendy's emails, they find that Donna's very involved in the divorce filings between the two of them, and Donna seems like she was giving suggestions and maybe even writing the filings as well. That's what the state is alleging. This is how the state is going to get the emails in as evidence for this trial, by making sure that it's tied to Donna. And here's how they do it. Here's the layout. Now, on the left is a divorce filing, and then the column to the right is connection to the defendant. There's a profile picture of Donna Adelson right there. I don't know, maybe that's her Match.com profile picture.
I have been upset about this move since it happened in 2005, referring to having to live in Tallahassee, right?
Yes.
There are, however, 16 Christian...
And that's why people think she wrote that book. There's a book that Wendi wrote, which I don't remember. I don't think the judge allowed it in, if I remember correctly, because they did have that. They were discussing that in the motions and limine stuff. I don't think they're allowing the book in, but essentially a lot of people think that the book was about Wendi. She wrote the book. She talks about how this woman was really unhappy in her marriage. She was living in Hiawassee Springs, which sounds like Tallahassee. I don't know if that was something that she wrote and she was hoping Dan Markel would read it and then realize that, oh, my wife is not happy, we need to change things, or I don't know. Maybe it was a jab at Dan Markel, or maybe Dan never read it. I don't know. But I remember hearing that Dan did support Wendi.
Catholic and Baptist schools in Tallahassee with over 3,600 students attending them. If I remain in Tallahassee, the children will not be attending a Hebrew day school, nor be brought up kosher or religious in any way. That's not a threat, just a reality. Is that contained in that email?
It is.
So the boys stay with me, the mom, during the week and spend every other weekend, Friday evening through school, Monday morning with their dad. Okay, so this is arguments for relocation that are being outlined by Donna for Wendi to send to her lawyer, correct?
Yes, that's
Next
correct.
slide, please.
This is Wendi Adelson attempting to move the children to another part of the state.
To Coral Springs, right?
That is correct.
To live with her parents.
Correct.
Here's an email. Wednesday, January 9th. For your meeting tomorrow with Kristen, Donna Adelson. One of the issues that you want me to write to you about for your meeting tomorrow with Kristen is how to handle the issue of your job. Obviously, at some point, whenever Kristen thinks it's a good idea, since this is a major bargaining chip for you, again, Kristen is Wendy's attorney, the university must know that you cannot continue to work there since Danny has spoken to Curtis, associate dean, as well as other faculty slandering you. You stole from him and you're mentally ill. It is uncomfortable for you to continue to work in this sort of environment. Therefore, after you complete your commitment to teach a semester, you'll be leaving FSU. Once you leave FSU, your job opportunities in Tallahassee are limited. You're already in an application to one law firm and had a second interview, but no job offer. Oh, come on. You got to continue applying. That's why. Obviously, you cannot seek other employment in this town, but the pay scale and the job opportunities will not be there. Or you can make sure they won't hire you. So sabotage your own interviews just so you could be like, oh, I can't find a job here. Boo, I guess I have to go to Miami. Clearly, when Danny realized that you remaining in Tally, either employed for a very low salary or not employed at all, will cost him big bucks compared to a better paying job in South Florida. I don't think Dan Markel really cares about the money at this point. I think he probably cares more about his sons than money. Maybe, possibly. He'll realize that will affect how much he pays in child support and alimony. Knowing how important money is to him, this is going to be a big issue. I mean, money may be important to someone, but I mean, money versus raising your children. He needs to know that there's no way in hell you're going to stay at FSU and that he is the reason you're leaving. I would ask Kristen about doing a depo on Curtis ASAP. I know he's a lawyer and he must tell the truth, but the longer you wait to depo him, his memory can fade, in exclamation marks, or not exclamation mark, in quotations. Once you have a depo from the associate dean confirming what Danny told him about you, you got him by the balls. Oh no, not Donna. It doesn't talk about balls. Now, Dan Markel was not a fool that Donna and Wendy thought he was. Dan Markel was onto this family.
Did he say that she was misusing access to the children as pawns?
Yes.
Meaning Wendy was doing that.
Correct.
Okay. And did he make some other allegations against Wendy in this particular filing? For example, the wife alleges that the husband wants to move from FSU, but that is false. So he's saying that Wendy is misstating his intentions in the pleadings. Is that right?
Yes.
Unfortunately, the broken promises, communication withdrawal, and deceitful behavior indicate that the wife really cannot be trusted to consider the children's best interest. Did Dan Markel put this in his filing?
He did.
Because there are numerous false statements in the petition to relocate, and because the wife's behavior reveals deception, lack of integrity, and other instances of bad faith, this court should look at the wife as having unclean hands. Did he put that?
He did.
And this was
Oof, scathing.
sent to Donna Adelson,
Correct.
the wife who unilaterally helped herself to $400,000 of assets she barely contributed to. And then it goes on, this court should award decision-making authority over education, medical, and religious matters solely to the husband. He didn't even want to consult Wendy on those matters,
He did not.
and he was asked
So I think that's Dan Markel referencing that Dan Markel went on a work trip, if I remember correctly, and then he came back and the house was like empty. Wendy took the kids, took the furniture, took some like heirlooms that belonged to Dan Markel, like emptied out the safe or something like that, and then just like left. Didn't even say anything. He had no idea where they were. Donna says, this is Thursday, February 21st. I read it. No one ever thought this was going to be easy. You have an outstanding attorney who is used to dealing with these issues. She'll do a great job for you. Most of what the Dark Lord attests to is hearsay between the Dark Lord. So Dan Markel's Voldemort now attests to is hearsay between the two of you or his interpretation of your words. I wouldn't worry about it. That's why you have an attorney. I would not be surprised if he, not his attorney, wrote most of this. You have a great attorney and a supportive family. We're all behind you and will do whatever needs to be done to help you. Try as much as you can to put this out of your mind for the weekend. Enjoy your time with your friends and family and your favorite mom over your favorite mom. Oh gosh, you're like the only mom. I'm pretty sure there's no other moms that she can compare you to. Your favorite mom will be returning a car in the AM at, I guess, maybe Tallahassee Airport so that we can drive back to your house together. I love you, Mom. Wendy Adelson wrote an email saying it's on, ... Oh God, these people are so cringe. All right.
Yes, we have an email from Donna Adelson to Wendy Adelson.
and she replies the same day indicating she read everything that Markel wrote, right?
She did.
So remember how Donna was trying to blame Harvey for the emails? Well, this is how they can tell the difference between Harvey's emails versus Donna emails.
And how do we know it's her and not Harvey reading these documents? Or
Signed,
this
I love
particular
you.
one?
It's signed, I love you, Mom. May 2nd, 2000.
All right, let's read the email. Donna responds back, Dear Wendy, okay, just saw this email this morning. Obviously, his 23-page rant was insufficient, so he's trying to push the court to deny your petition. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm glad you acknowledged that. I don't know if to prevent any action with your attorney must respond or not. I thought Donna was also writing some of these filings in response to Dan Marco. Maybe she was writing it like notes, and then she had the attorneys put it in like proper language. Only you and she know that. However, Jibbers has made his divorce a full-time job to attempt to get what he always gotten his way. His job allows for lots of time for him to put into this project. And you know as well as I do, all the research he's done on different case law to prove his point is his research, not his attorneys. No matter who did it, he is quoting 13 cases to show why the court should basically throw out your petitions. Is Kristen answering this? Does it require an answer to make sure that this is not seen by the court as ignoring his rights? I don't know. You need to find that out. The most important part of your divorce is relocation. I sincerely hope your attorney understands that this is non-negotiable. Lots of things are not negotiable. That's the only thing that you cannot let her think, okay, well, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. She needs to hear from you how serious you are about this and how it will benefit the children with a close-knit family support system, as well as your significantly better paying job with hours, much more flexible than your current job. But she hasn't even gotten a job yet. There was no job offer yet in Miami area. so that you can spend significantly more time with the children. So she's going to get a high paying job in Miami, but then the hours are going to be more laid back than a university hours, I guess, which requires teaching hours, office hours, court appearances, meeting with the med school people, and multiple trips away from home. Oh yeah, the meeting with the med school people. So I think it says that she was like the director as well of like part of like this medical thing in her signature. Those trips need to be coordinated with a very angry man who will not be cooperative with you in this regard. For example, this past weekend, you had your annual conference for underline. At the same time, his regular NYU crap was taking place. He didn't say, I go to NYU every month and this is a year annual meeting. I'll stay with the children and you go. Of course not. Danny thinks he's a very important person. And as always, he and his needs come first. So without your parents as backup, one of you would have to stay home with the children. Your attorney needs to understand that your mother works, I don't know what that says.
Forwarded from Wendy to
That your mother worked full time
her mother.
in the something like that. I don't know. Oh, there's more. Mr. Markel has become a religious zealot over the last few years since the birth of our first son, taking him to the synagogue with him as an infant so that he can absorb the music and prayers. Is that really a bad thing? He has done the same with our second son. This is also to show the congregation what an attentive father he is. Donna also writes, there are no Hebrew day schools in Tallahassee. Mr. Markel seems intent upon religious training, but he feels that he could only provide the best religion training for our children. Our children. It's Donna's children too. He is indoctrinating them, not teaching them. If he truly cared about the religious school for them, then clearly one of the 37 Hebrew day schools in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County would be a better choice for our boys. Oh, it's Donna's son too. I wonder if Donna tells like her grandchildren, hey, when mom's not around, you can call me mommy. I'm your favorite mom. Oh, gosh. Now, pay attention to this part because later on, Donna's defense team is going to try to say this wasn't a bribe. This was incentive for Dan Markel to move. But guess what word Donna uses in the email?
Does she say the word bribe? Donna Adelson.
Yes.
Okay, what does she say about a bribe in this email?
Another bribe to get him to allow relocation should be the offer of plane tickets, since he does have family that would allow him to use their homes to stay in.
Okay, next, please. What does she say about the legal fees?
And isn't he also supposed to pay some of your regular legal fees? This bastard has not paid 1 cent toward your bridge gap alimony.
Loving, caring father that he is.
Yes.
She doesn't think he's loving.
No.
Here's an email from Donna. Hi, sweetheart. Just finished the list from the photos I have on my iPhone of the things left at the house. I needed to add some info about the drugs he was taking in the master bath. Just didn't have the time to do all that, so I'm a little unfinished there. All the drugs. Oh, no. They're going to say that he was like unfit father. He was taking drugs. I'll work tonight on what I can recall having taken, and I'm sure he'll have a list of these things. Please forward these items to me now if you're still in the office. Thanks, doll. Motions filed, responses to motions filed, written order from the judge, judge's ruling, transcript from the hearing. Thanks, honey. When he writes back, hi guys, here is what I've had so far. It's the motions. I cannot get the rest of this to you by today or even Monday. Love you, me.
Notice of taking a deposition of Donna Sue Adelson.
All right, so the defendant's deposition was being sought in Wendy's divorce.
Correct.
And was Donna aware of that?
Yes.
How do we know that?
Emails.
Okay.
And the communication was back and forth between the two.
All right. Did she author an email specifically talking about the service of the notice for the deposition?
Yes. There's an email on May 21st.
All right. And what does she say about the service, the notice of service for the depot?
It says, wow, he is such a royal jackass. How smart are you to get rid of this piece of S? R, as in, like pirate.
Huh?
Also, later on, the defense team and Wendi, when she testifies, they're both going to try to minimize Donna's involvement in the divorce proceedings. But look at these emails. They say otherwise.
And does she indicate she's still working on some of the questions for Wendy's divorce?
Yes, I've been working on some statements, etc., for the relocation, so I'll send them soon. Love, Mom. I love you, Mom.
So Donna was doing everything she can to go after Dan Markel, not only going after the medication he was taking, but now also looking at all the trips that he took while he was with Wendi. Basically saying that, oh, maybe he's an absent father. Look at the trips that he's taken for business, for personal stuff, work. I mean, it's not like he was just disappearing because he wanted to be away from his family. It seems like there were other obligations. Donna writes, hey, honey, so here's the info I had on travel since Ben was born. I'm assuming Ben is the eldest of the children between Wendi and Dan. Probably most of the dates will coincide with the list you've got from the university for his conferences. 2009, he went to Israel in May for 2 weeks while you were pregnant with Ben, leaving you alone in the 8th month of pregnancy, exclamation mark. Tuesday, October 27th, 1 week away, you and Ben were here for Charlie's birthday. I think Danny was away somewhere that week. Thursday, November 12th to November 18th, Danny away. Winter break in December, 3 weeks in Coral Springs, Danny working every day. 2010. Oh, here's a more list of dates right here at the very end. Do you have the dates of 2010 he went to Israel? At least you know he went. Subject line, documentation of Danny's travel and my mom's depot. June 11, 2013.
To Q2.
So we're about a year away from the murder.
Husband's reply to wife's memorandum of law in support of her petition to relocate to Coral Springs, Florida with the minor children.
And what does Dan say about the wife's pleadings?
The wife's pleadings are vague, filled with rank and obvious falsehoods, and the legal analysis is fundamentally inept.
Does he mention her parents as well related to this line of argument?
For the preceding reasons, the petition should be dismissed with prejudice and costs forwarded to the husband. Indeed, if the costs are not awarded, then wife and her affluent parents, who are bankrolling wife's litigation so that they can enjoy closer access to the grandchildren, will persist in vexatious and groundless litigation and thereby prevent the parents from reaching a space where they can cooperate, collaborate, and communicate effectively and warmly in the project of raising their wonderful children.
And as Donna's pouring her heart and her soul into the divorce filings or divorce proceedings between Wendi and Dan, it seems like she's losing every step of the way. It's really getting at her ego. When she finally gets the relocation denied, finally, from the judge, this was in June 20th, 2013, she writes a very angry email. And this is what she wrote. From Donna to Donna's friend, I guess. The judge listened to Wendi testify for 1 hour. Then one of the partners from the Miami law firms that offered Wendi an amazing job flew up to testify on her behalf. Oh, okay. So this is the job offer that Donna said that was like pending. I wonder if it was like one of Donna's friends and she asked him for a favor. Like, hey, can you please like offer Wendi a job? And I want you to go up there and testify. And then make sure you tell them that she's going to get a high paying job and her hours are going to be great for her to take care of her children. The judge took a break and asked one question. I'm not hearing almost any physical abuse by the father. Has he been pulling out their toenails? When Wendi said no, the judge said, well, then I made up my mind. No physical abuse, no relocation. That was it. Nothing that her lawyers had prepared for over all these months have ever been listened to. All the judge ever cared about was whether the children had been physically abused. Outrageous. Even the Miami lawyers who heard her said it was bizarre. So at the moment, she would not be able to relocate. At the moment? What do you mean at the moment? The judge says that, like, no, you can't ask me again. She would not be able to relocate unless at some point in the future, Danny chooses to move, which she knows that what's going to happen. If he chooses to move, then Wendi can relocate. How is that fair? Anyway, if I sound angry, it is because I am. We're all very upset and cannot believe this outcome. Sorry, I didn't mean to respond this way, but I'm beyond angry.
Does Donna send an email to her daughter Wendi regarding how we're going to take this news that relocation has been denied by the courts?
Yes, she does.
And does it say it's behind us, it's over, nothing else to fight about?
No, this says never, never, never give up. It's time for action.
Hold on just a moment.
It's time for action. It's time to take control of your life and not let Jibbers think he's just won anything by having you remain in Tallahassee, 8 hours away from the only family you have, and lose out on what will be a job that will afford you and your children advantages that they will never otherwise be able to enjoy. Let's show this F what will make him absolutely miserable. Fast forward, however, the rest of your life, and consequently, Dad's, mine, and yes, even Charlie's, will be affected by how well you can perform or act before July 31st. You can be a good actress when you want to. I've seen you in action. You need to put on the performance of your life. Jibbers hasn't beaten the Adelson family yet. You have a very strong family behind you. Dad and I have done everything we can to try to help you for the last 10 months. Now it's time to help yourself. Fast forward, if you can put these actions before everything else this next month, and you know that you've only got the kids a limited number of days to do this, we believe that Jibbers will be saying, stop this, and you'll be telling him, you wanted me in Tallahassee? My children are going to fit in this Bible Belt. They're going to church every time I have them. I'm having them privately tutored at home to get them caught up for Sunday school classes. Tell him that you've got a new outlook on life and a new hope, and you'd like to go to heaven. Perhaps he would like to join you and the boys at church. Plan of action. 1, take photos of the boys, dressed nicely, standing at the front door or by the sign of a Tallahassee church. Then change your Facebook status photo to this one so everyone will see this. Perhaps a line under the photo with New Beginnings in Tallahassee. Might be nice. And then 2, make arrangements to get the boys...
Wait, read the rest, sir. Oh, I guess because it's not highlighted. Within minutes, Jibbers should either see this or will be getting calls from his friends/acquaintances about this. How happy do you think he will be? Oh my God, that is so fucking unhinged.
And then 2, make arrangements to get the boys caught up with a private tutor, a teenage Catholic church member, who will come to the house to teach the young men about Jesus. If you don't have time to arrange for this to happen, I'll happily do it for you. 3, let Jibbers know that your children will be baptized in the Catholic Church.
If you don't have time to arrange for this to happen, I will happily do it for you. She or he will serve as a good babysitter assistant for you while you're preparing dinner, etc. Smiley face. Let Jibbers know that your children will be baptized in the Catholic Church, and you will certainly invite him to the event.
The Catholic Church is a big part of your life now with the boys, and you'd like him to be part of it. As long as he wants you to remain in Tallahassee, the boys will be involved with you in church-related activities and ceremonies. Let him get used to it. I've already checked this out, and a baptism can be arranged within 2 weeks.
Dude, they're 3 and 5-year-old, okay? They're like, you're going to confuse them. They're going to be like, why am I going to Jewish school and I'm going to Catholic school? Like, what am I doing here? They're just going to be pulled left and right. Donna doesn't care about these boys. Donna just cares about her. She just wants to win. It's an ego thing at this point.
4, I'm looking into summer camp programs for the boys. We will pay for it. 5, register them for toddler classes at church. I've looked into this, and even if they don't go, we can show Jibbers that they are enrolled for the fall semester. And you cannot tell anyone this is an act. Take control from him. Get to him psychologically. He's going to want you to stop this. We plan to make a financial offer to him to allow this relocation. You need to work this plan, and we'll help you through it. We'll help you through it so that it may affect how much we will offer him. Maybe he'd be willing to let you relocate if he knew his children would attend a private Hebrew academy like Donna Klein in Boca, or perhaps he'd like them to invite him to a Christmas party at their other.
I don't think it matters if the children end up going to the best schools in Miami because they will still have the influence of a batshit crazy grandmother.
Sunday school, in quotes. And then she says, I know you would never want to think that you didn't do absolutely everything you could to try to come down to your family.
You have a little over 3 weeks till mediation. Let's get this going now. I know you never want to think that you didn't do absolutely everything you could try to come down to your family. Between living down here and having a job that will give your children the lifestyle they deserve, your life now and for sure in the future will be significantly better. Gary told us that he is not going to hire anyone until your court hearing and after we try to make financial offer to Jibbers.
We don't want Danny to continue his religious influence over these children any more than what he's already done. If he keeps this up, they won't want to eat in your non-kosher home. As they get older and more involved under Jibbers' religious influence, they will be able to request which parent they want to live with. Don't allow Jibbers to have this power and control over them. Then in reality, he's going to have the same control over you. Dad and I is referred for the person. It's time for you to show us that you can put on the performance of your life for the next few weeks. We send this letter with...
I think, wasn't the performance of your life, wasn't that also told to Wendi again before the murder?
With our love and only the best intentions, Mom and Dad.
Oh, Mom and Dad. And I feel like she's just throwing Harvey into this, Harvey probably didn't even see this email. He probably didn't even write it. Maybe she told Harvey, hey, Harvey, hon, can you read this? And he's like, yeah, I read it. It's fine. Said it.
You mentioned this as we were going through there, but there's a reference to Dad and I in the text, right?
Correct.
So after this, they are continuing fighting. And Donna wants to aggravate Dan Markel as much as they can.
And what does Wendi Adelson allege in this motion to enforce the marital settlement agreement?
Require the former husband to immediately transfer to the former wife the remaining amount due to her.
So she's saying he hasn't paid up.
Correct. Former husband's request to produce to former wife.
Okay. And did the defendant discuss this request to produce in an email?
In the first paragraph, it's let's aggravate him the way he's trying to aggravate you and make him do the research and show statements from every month, from the date of your marriage to the date of the filing of the divorce. You need to see whatever he deposited into those accounts, where the money came from. It's very possible some of it came from your joint Schwab account, and then he's up Schitt's Creek.
Does she specifically reference the deposition?
It just seems ridiculous for him to be able to depot you, but for you and Kristen to not give him the same crap he's pulling on you. It's time to give it to him.
Also,
what can your attorney do to be proactive to give him some grief?
and can you meet with her and work out a plan of attack? Did she say that too?
She does.
And what else?
Well, sign love you, Mom, but something has to be done with this asshole. Love you, Mom and Dad. Love Mom and Dad.
In the amended notice of hearing, does Mr. Markel offer to settle the divorce?
He does.
Okay, and what is he saying about the settlement?
One of the suggestions is neither party will seek to relocate in the future with the children without the consent of the other party. If the offer above is not accepted by the deadline, then fast forward, Mr. Markel will file his motions and memoranda and supporting documents that detail how Ms. Adelson failed to disclose substantial assets in violation of the Florida rules and the master settlement agreement. How Ms. Adelson fraudulently induced the settlement, how she made numerous instances of demonstrably false testimony before the court and under oath and deposition, how she ignored court orders, discovery requests, and made false responses to the latter.
And Wendi Adelson was a lawyer, member of the Florida Bar at the time, right?
She was.
May still be, I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
If this offer is not
So
accepted,
I guess if she was giving false testimony, then that could put her bar in jeopardy, maybe?
By the deadline, Mr. Markel will file his motion and memoranda of law and supporting documents, and these will allege, and with other evidence, demonstrate that Ms. Adamson engaged in misconduct, including but not limited to filing a frivolous petition to relocate that had already been deemed impossible to win by another board-certified lawyer, standing by silently while her client divulged privileged attorney-client information, advising Ms. Adelson.
So now he's going after her attorney. Filing a frivolous petition to relocate that has already been deemed impossible to win by another board-certified lawyer. Okay.
To interfere with Mr. Markel's parental rights.
I think it's one more.
Oh, gosh.
And becoming a willing instrumentality of or participant in Ms. Adelson's financial misconduct related to the disclosures and discovery process related therein.
So he's going after Wendy, and he's going after her lawyer as well, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And does Wendy Adelson forward this email to the defendant?
She does.
And because of Dan Markel's complaint about Wendy Adelson's attorney, her attorney had to withdraw at this point because she would have to be called as a witness for this. She explains later on her testimony. And not only at this point, Donna's probably seething. Dan Markel doesn't want Donna to be around the children unsupervised any longer.
The former husband's counter motion for enforcement of MSA on parenting issues and motion for contempt and sanctions.
And is this the motion that includes the allegations, grandma says you're stupid?
There's a foundation for the contents of the document. Ms. Kappelman, objection is sustained.
Are you familiar with the contents of the motion?
I am. Dan Markel sent the email to Wendy Adelson and their parenting coordinator.
All right, and then you say it was forwarded. Who
It
was forwarded to?
To Donna Harvey at gmail.com.
Okay, and that was on 12/17 of 13?
That's correct.
And did someone respond to the email?
They did.
And what did the person say?
Wow, with an exclamation point.
All right, the hearing on this motion that Dan Markel filed, was it ever conducted? This JJ motion?
Nope, I don't think so, because he was dead by then.
I believe it was.
It was?
The grandma motion was heard?
I'm
No.
trying to figure out the dates here.
That tone from Georgia says, sir, that's the wrong answer.
No, the hearings continued to get reset.
Okay, and what prevented the hearing from occurring
Eventually, Mr. Markel was murdered.
before the hearing took place?
Yes.
So Mr. Zellman's going to come in for the defense for the cross-examination, and he's going to try to show that, well, there are some emails that didn't have the mom signature on there. And then also...
B4, that, does that email indicate that it's who the sender is?
It says Donna Harvey Adelson.
Not Donna?
No.
Okay, and then it's... Is there any, love mom or anything like that at the end of that email?
Do we not have any visual aids for what emails we're talking about, Mr. Zellman? How are we going to memorize which emails was which?
No.
JJ2.
Oh, no, I didn't write down the exhibit's name, so I don't know which one he's referring to.
So that one-word response is from the shared email address of Donna Harvey, correct?
That's correct.
Isn't it true that emails from Donna Adelson are much lengthier than a one-word response?
They generally are.
You testified that the email says, so at the moment she will not be allowed to relocate. You didn't finish the rest of what that email, the rest of that sentence. Isn't it true? It says, unless at some point in the future, Danny chooses to move. If he chooses to move, then Wendy can relocate.
Yes.
Now, after the relocation was denied, my client sent that lengthy email, I believe it's at Z2.
Yes.
Isn't it true that although my client made these suggestions, that Wendy Adelson later responded and said, I'm not doing this?
I do recall an email from Wendy saying, Mom, I'm not doing this.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Good for Wendy. Because that shit was completely batshit. It was very unhinged. That's a very short cross-examination.
Redirect examination.
Did relocation happen for Wendy and the boys?
After the murder.
Where did they move after the murder?
A couple blocks away from Donna and Harvey Adelson. Well, they moved in with Donna and Harvey Adelson for about a year, and then permanently to a location a couple blocks away.
No further questions.
Now, Wendy's going to be testifying next, and it seems like she's going to try to make Dan Markel look like a bad guy and Donna Adelson the good guy.
Did you consider your ex to be a religious zealot?
No, I didn't think he was a religious zealot, but I did think he was using religion as a way of controlling me.
Okay, did you think he was more devout in his faith than you were?
I don't know that, I feel like devoutness has to do with maybe a relationship with God, and I don't know that his was more strong than mine, but he was more observant of kosher rules than I was. So his beliefs changed over time. We used to have bacon, and then bacon became a no later on.
All right, and those rules were something that he was wanting to impose on the children, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and you were less interested in those kosher rules.
it was less important to me.
Was your mom, Donna Adelson, involved at all in drafting your divorce documents?
No.
Did she ever make any edits to any of the filings that you made pursuant to your divorce?
I think she made suggestions, but I had an attorney, a very good attorney, helping me through the process, so she wasn't editing legal documents.
But I don't know if the jury's going to remember, the previous testimony shows just how involved Donna was in the divorce procedures. There was also an email that Wendi wrote to the mom saying, let's edit.
Did you ever forward any of your mom's suggestions to your lawyer?
I probably did.
And when you did that, would you attribute them to your mom, or would you just forward them along without noting whether they were your questions or your mom's questions?
I honestly don't remember.
Now, don't worry. She's going to try to pull the I don't remember thing quite a few times, but George is going to be like, oh, don't worry. I'll help you remember.
Why did you want to move to South Florida?
I had very unstable employment in Tallahassee. I was, I had a wonderful job, but it was on grant money. So year to year, I never knew if I would still have my job. I had a job offer that was very good in South Florida. And the assumption was that Danny was always going to be at a different school, a better school. He used to joke that he would take one bar exam for every 2 bar exams that I had to take while we moved around the country. And so it seemed like a way of having stability while he was climbing up the law professor ladder to be ultimately at Harvard or Yale.
And was relocation important to you?
It was, in terms of having a safe and stable place for my kids.
Did you consider having to live here in Tallahassee being stuck? Or had you referred to it previously as being stuck in Tallahassee?
I mean, I may have. The idea of being stuck is if you don't have permission to live anywhere you want to live. But I had a nice quality of life here.
Did you consider the worst case scenario to be that you would end up stuck here in Tallahassee if your petition was denied?
I don't know. I mean, at the time, I may have felt that way.
Okay. Might you have sent an email to a friend on March 24th of 2013 indicating, quote, I do fear that the worst case scenario that could happen is that I will be stuck here in Tallahassee?
It's possible that I sent that.
Would it refresh your recollection to review that item?
I'm happy to.
It's on tab 6 on one of those binders. And did you also email a friend around the same time frame regarding life in Tallahassee couldn't compare to the life that you would be able to enjoy in South Florida with your brother Charlie and his boat and pool and hot tub and things like that?
It's certainly possible.
That's on tab 7. Please refresh your recollection.
Yes.
And in fact, didn't you use the word stuck in your actual motion for relocation? Here, the wife is merely stuck in Tallahassee until the husband decides that the time is right for him to leave.
So my attorney did write that, and that sounds right.
Did Tallahassee feel claustrophobic to you?
Well, at this point in time, Danny was making lots of unplanned announcements to my office where we work together. So I would see him at work. I never knew when he was showing up. So I'm sure, this is 12 years ago that's how I felt at that time.
Okay. But outside of the context of your relationship with Dan Markell, did you ever express that just the smallness and slowness of Tallahassee made you feel claustrophobic?
I don't remember saying that.
Please refer to tab 8 to refresh your recollection.
I love it. She's like, you can't remember it? Don't worry, girl. I got you.
I did. I found it's part of a sentence. Can I read the whole sentence?
Sure.
Tallahassee feels claustrophobic at times, given its smallness and slowness, and the fact that my friends cycle through here with transient regularity. So yes, at that moment in time, that's how I was feeling in 2013.
And relocation was pending at the time that you were feeling that way in that moment, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And relocation was also very important to your mother, wasn't it?
Yes.
All right. And did you have some discussions with your mother about relocation?
I did.
And was that during that time frame when it was pending?
Yes.
Okay. And do you see your mother in the courtroom here today?
Yes.
Could you please point her out and describe what she's wearing?
My mom is on right. I can't see her clothes from here, but she's directly across from me.
All right. Is she wearing a headset on her head?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Let the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant.
The record reflects.
Your mom didn't want you to be stuck in Tallahassee either, did she?
She did not.
She wanted the best for you, right?
She saw the best for me as not being in Tallahassee. Yes.
That's right. She referred to being in Tallahassee that you were a hostage and a prisoner, right?
Yes, she did.
And I don't know why Wendi would do this, but she's trying to convince the jury that Donna Adelson was not controlling. Donna Adelson wasn't a dominant figure in the family.
Your mom, the defendant, is a controlling person.
I don't think my mom is a controlling person.
Did you
Really?
say at one time back in 2013 that your mom operates with emotional subterfuge?
I may have said that.
Would you like to refresh your memory?
I can.
It's tab 45 in the binder in front of you.
I honestly don't know what I meant at the time.
But not that she's controlling.
I don't think that's what I meant.
Did Dan Markell have a hard time understanding some of your mom's behaviors?
I don't remember that.
Well, did she think you incapable of driving to South Florida by yourself with the kids? This is back when they were little.
Yeah, I don't think she thought I was incapable, but I was breastfeeding and it was helpful to have someone with me.
So what was her practice to avoid you having to do that?
One of my parents would come with me for the long drive.
So they would rent a car, come up here, ride back with you, and then follow the same procedure to get you home.
They would drive with me if I was down there, back up, and then rent a car to come home.
Wow. And keep in mind, it's from the Miami area all the way to Tallahassee. I hear it's from 6 to 8 hour drive. It's not like, oh, we're just going to drive 45 minutes. No, honey, it's 6 to 8 hours.
I mean, I think my dad had more of a quiet strength, so it's hard to say who was a dominant force. I think they were both equally strong in their parenting.
Okay, did you previously describe this back in 2013 that your mom was the dominant force in the household? If you need to refresh, it's tab 97.
Okay. Yes.
Did your mom ever try to micromanage your life?
Yes.
Your career?
I don't know about my career. I chose to be a lawyer. It wasn't a very popular choice in my household.
Yes, and there were different types of areas of law that she would have preferred you practice. Do you agree with that?
I actually think they were really proud of what I was doing.
Not to suggest she wasn't proud of you, but she was encouraging you to pursue a different type of law that would be more lucrative. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
And what about your dating life? Did she meddle there?
Yes.
Did she create a dating profile for you on Match.com?
I don't know if it was Match.com, but I do remember a dating profile at some point.
That she created for you?
I didn't use it, but yes.
And conducted searches for men in the Miami area and sent them to you?
I wonder if Donna was the one who was replying back to the Match.com response.
So, honey, so you think I'm nuts, but...
Oh, gosh. Warrior of Love 305. Lawyer, I like him. Lung Man 11111. Pulmonologist from Peru. AAP MD. Another pulmonologist. Looks interesting. Bobby Digital. Another lawyer. Funny sex. Jewish. Oh, gosh.
When you get a moment, check out some of these whom I've pre-screened for you. And these are guys in Miami, right? After all, you're going to be in Miami here and there. Why not see who's out there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Some options that she sent you. Here's an interesting guy, etc.
Oh, God.
Did you ever feel like your mom was walking all over you?
I don't remember feeling that way.
Okay. What about specifically regarding this divorce? Did you, back in April of 2013, tell a friend that you were trying to find a way to
You know, I'm not a huge fan of her glasses. They're very funky, and I guess they're cool, but I'm not a huge fan of them.
coexist with your mom that didn't feel like she was trampling your autonomy?
I'm sure I said that in 2013.
How did your mom feel about Dan Markel in this time frame, 2012 to 2016?
And I think a lot changed between 2012 and 2016.
Did you say do you remember giving a law enforcement interview in reference to this case?
Yes, I remember.
That was the same day that Mr. Markel was shot, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and did you say in that interview, quote, "My parents have more reason to dislike Danny than almost anyone else"?
At that point, I was sitting with law enforcement for 6 hours and had just been told that Danny had been shot. So I was in shock.
I don't think you were sitting there for 6 hours. I think you said it. Maybe that statement was later on. But she brought up how the parents and Charlie did not like Dan. Within like the first, the first half hour or some shit. So a lot of us are wondering, what the hell does jibbers mean? Because that's a nickname they keep calling Dan Markel as a derogatory.
Did you refer to him as an STD?
I don't remember saying that.
Tab 5.
It looks like I made that an L.
And this will never go away. Is that what you said?
I did.
And did you share that kind of sentiment with your mother?
I don't remember ever saying that, so I don't think it's something I said very often.
Did you ever refer to your ex-husband as the Dark Lord?
I don't remember saying that.
Voldemort.
But I certainly might have.
Did you refer to your ex-husband as Jibbers?
I did.
What is the meaning of Jibbers?
Jibbers was just a silly name that a friend helped me come up with to basically make him feel less scary. It was nonsense.
Did it reference Jew in boots?
That I don't remember.
What is it called? Jew in boots?
It wasn't a friendly name, right?
It was a silly name.
Did you ever say that you hated Dan Markel?
I don't remember saying it, but
Oh, is this what jibbers mean?
It
Is this
wasn't a
fucking cat
friendly
book?
name, right?
it was a silly name.
Did you ever say that you hated Dan
Is this the origin of jibbers? Oh gosh. Guys, we have the answer. Now we know.
Markel?
I don't remember saying it, but I certainly could have.
Tab 31, please, to refresh your memory.
I hate him in this moment.
Okay, and did you say in that email, that same email, quote, I hate my children's dad"?
I did.
And do you agree that email was sent approximately 15 months before Mr. Markel was murdered?
It was in April of 2013.
The husband affirmatively alleges that the wife helped herself to non-marital assets, including money and stocks owned prior to marriage, as well as numerous personal non-marital belongings of the husband, such as luggage, bicycle, tennis racket, and family heirlooms. Did you take those things when you vacated the property?
I did remember taking his tennis racket by accident, and I returned that, but otherwise I didn't take his belongings.
Just a tennis racket? That's it?
Did you strategize to leave him in a way that would cause or inflict maximum damage upon him?
No.
Is that something your mom ever said?
I don't
To your
remember that.
knowledge? She wanted a psychological evaluation of Mr. Markel.
Yes.
Didn't need a psychological evaluation, did he?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Was he an extremely intelligent, accomplished law professor?
Yes.
Did your mom ever call Dan Markel any disparaging names around this time frame?
She did.
Okay, including piece of shit,
Yes.
asshole,
Yes.
a narcissist,
Major fucker.
Yes.
a bully,
Yes.
I wish we had side-by-side cameras where we could see Wendy testify and then the exhibits as well.
a bastard.
Yes.
We've read Donna Adelson's unhinged emails. Now they are going to have Wendy testify about it.
What did she suggest you could do to get Dan Markel to relent and let you take his kids to South Florida?
She suggested that I pretend that the boys had become Christian.
Is that something you would ever consider doing?
No.
She was going to pay for them to get instruction on the Christian faith, right?
That was what she said.
And she said she looked into it and she could get them baptized in a couple weeks. Do you remember that?
I don't remember, but I'm sure it's here.
Do you remember her imploring you to put on a good act?
I do.
Did your mom, I don't know, do you have any acting training?
No.
Do you know why your mom would Google how to teach an actress emotion?
I don't know.
Did she ever share with you or forward you any tips on how to bring emotion or fake emotion?
Not that I remember of any kind.
All right. What about a financial offer? Was that part of it as well?
Yes.
What was the financial offer to be?
I think it was $1 million.
Who was going to pay the $1 million?
My mom, my dad, and my brother.
And they were going to pay $1 million. You didn't have to pay any of it?
I don't remember.
January 27th, 2013 email 64W. Charlie brought up a good point when he said that Americans were dropped behind enemy lines during World War II wearing Nazi uniforms to get what they wanted. They had a job to get done, and they did what they needed to do to accomplish it. You have a job to get done in a very short time frame to accomplish it. If you dressed your kids up in Hitler Youth uniforms and brought them down here, I could care less if it was an act of defiance and would show jibbers that he's not in control. Did she suggest that to you?
Yes.
What was your response? Of course Charlie will come up with that.
She urged you to rethink your decision not to implement her suggestions, didn't she?
Yes.
She wanted you to do an act of defiance that will put a scare into this jackass. Why would she want to scare Mr. Markel?
So that he would let me relocate, I guess.
She says here, and I'm still on 64W, I don't know how much of the big picture you're seeing, honey. I don't know if you can realize that not only what you can provide for your boy's life, but for your own life, all depends on this change. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So she did view this as a very serious matter, right?
Yes.
And she's sending all of this after the relocation is denied, right?
Yes.
Everyone has a price. Fight for yourself. I'm showing you this slide also from Exhibit 64W, which indicates that you were going to go into the $1 million offer as a third. Does that refresh your memory on that deal?
I mean, it refreshes my memory, but it's not something I ever considered or thought about doing.
So you would not have paid up the
No.
third of $1 million?
No.
They don't get into the wiretapping testimonies today, but it is interesting that we find out Wendy's the one who's going to authenticate the voices on the wiretap.
And are you familiar with a wiretap that was conducted in this case,
I've seen a lot of wires.
where phone calls were intercepted by the police and recorded by the police?
Yes.
And were you asked to listen to a disc of calls to see if you could authenticate the voices on those
Yes.
discs? Okay. And were you able to authenticate some of the voices on there?
I was able to authenticate the voices of my family.
All right, so Charlie
Oof.
Adelson, Donna Adelson, Harvey Adelson.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and did you initial on State's Exhibit 135 by each of those voices that you were able to authenticate?
I did.
They signed a lease to have sort of a weekend property. Was that in South Beach?
Yes.
Okay, and that does March of 14 sound right for that?
I don't remember when they signed a lease there, but is that
For Wendy?
it's possible?
Do you know why they chose to move into the continuum? I mean, this is about 3-4 months before the murder.
My brother had a girlfriend that lived there, and he really liked the property, and he thought maybe my parents might like to retire there. So he was suggesting that they start trying someplace other than Coral Springs to retire.
And did your mom add you as a resident to the continuum on May 16th of 2014?
I don't remember that, but the continuum, the apartment complex had very high security, and so it may have been that if you wanted someone to come and not be considered a guest, they had to be considered a resident.
Seems like they're planning on the move for Wendy Adelson. I don't know. I think that's where George is getting at before Dan Markel was murdered.
Do you recall a motion being filed by Dan Markel that we referred to as the grandma motion?
No.
Did Dan Markel in March 26th of 2014, file a motion seeking to preclude your mother from having unsupervised contact with your kids?
I don't remember him filing that motion, but it
don't?
sounds like if it's a motion you have a name for, then it exists.
And in that motion, do you recall, or does it refresh your memory, that he was saying, Grandma, the boys were telling him, Grandma says you're stupid, Grandma says she hates you, and as a result, he was concerned about your mom alienating the kids or turning the kids against you?
Does she not remember because Georgia coined it as a grandma motion that's new to her, or is she just saying she doesn't remember? Because she went through depo and she went through Charlie's testimony, and this trial, this case, everything with Dan Markel has been part of the Adelson family life for more than 11 years.
I remember hearing
You don't
about this
remember?
motion.
And that is a motion that was never got to be heard, right?
That was part of the motion to enforce the settlement agreement,
But which was never heard.
which was never heard.
Because he was killed.
Hey, Neil.
Because, yes.
After the lunch break, I think Georgia Kaplan goes even harder at Wendi and confronting her about this plot that she could have orchestrated with her family.
Did your brother joke about hiring a hitman to kill Dan Markel?
He did make that joke.
What was the joke specifically?
My brother had bought me a TV as a divorce present, and he would make the joke that the TV was cheaper than hiring a hitman.
Did you ever tell Jeffrey Lacasse about that joke?
I may have mentioned that joke to Jeff Lacasse.
Who is that?
I may have. Oh, you did.
Jeff Lacasse was someone that I dated after Danny and I got divorced.
Had he met your parents?
I think he may have met them once, but not in any kind of formal way. Just my parents were visiting and he might have said hi, something like that.
Did your parents express any opinion about him, whether they liked him or not?
I don't remember them really taking notice of him.
Do you remember sending a text back on May 28th of 2014 that saying, quote, my parents are not into him, referring to Jeff?
I don't remember sending that.
On the morning of the murder, did your mom text you about the TV repair guy being on the way or coming to your house?
She did. I didn't buy the TV, and the TV had an insurance policy that came with the Geek Squad help. So I think they reached out to her first, and then she let me know that they were coming.
Did you go to a dinner after the murder of Dan Markel in which you vomited at the table?
It was several weeks until I felt ready to leave my apartment. I was very, very scared.
So that happened?
It did happen.
Okay, and that was in a restaurant, right?
Mm-hmm. It was at a restaurant.
Who was present at that dinner?
It was my brother and me.
And where was the dinner?
It was
Florida or here?
It was South Florida.
Okay, and you said it was several weeks after the murder?
I believe so.
Had you ever heard Charlie, your brother, refer to that dinner as a celebratory dinner?
Only in previous trials, but never to me personally.
Did you hear him say it the night that you had the dinner or after that?
No.
That you threw up at the celebration?
No.
Do you know Catherine Magbanoa?
I met her on 2 occasions.
Okay. Do you have an independent friendship with her, or did you just meet her through your brother?
I just met her through my brother.
Remember, Catherine Magbanoa / Katie was a nexus between Adelson family and the 2 hitmen. There's a picture that Wendi took with Katie at the beach with another person there. Charlie wasn't there. It seems like Donna was trying to give Wendi an alibi by having a TV repair person sent over to her house to have the TV repaired. And I think it was also used in a way that repairman is on the way, aka the hitmen are on the way to take care of the TV, aka maybe Dan Markel, because they also use TV as code words as well when they're talking about this whole thing. And then afterwards, after Dan Markel was murdered, somehow the state found out that Charlie labeled it as a celebratory dinner. So what are they celebrating? Dan Markel's death? I mean, it's kind of weird. Weeks after Dan Markel was murdered, you would have this celebratory dinner. Apparently, Wendi vomited at the table. So, yeah, some weird shit.
That's me in the middle.
Were there any conversations
y'all.
with Catherine Magbanoa or your brother or your mother about the murder?
No.
Prior to Dan Markel's murder, was this image taken at your trip to South Beach that was most recent before the murder?
No.
So you went down another time between this trip and the murder.
I did. I went down for my dad's birthday.
Did you run into Catherine Magbanoa at all on that trip?
I don't think so.
Any discussion with any members of your family about the murder on that trip?
No.
And honestly, it gets worse for Wendi because the state is going to try to show that before Dan Markel was murdered, Wendi had some sort of knowledge about what was going to happen to him.
On July 13th, 2014, Do you remember asking to share something in confidence with Mr. Lacasse?
I don't remember doing that.
Did you tell Mr. Lacasse in the context of if something were to happen to Danny, I could move back to Miami? Did you tell Lacasse that regarding the relocation battle in the summer of 2013, Charlie had, seriously, not as a joke, explored all options to resolve the problem, including hiring a hitman?
I did not have that conversation with Jeff Lacasse.
And then, for example, when Dan Markel was murdered, Wendy just happened to go near the crime scene but made a U-turn and never inquired more about that.
Did you have an occasion to go down Trescott?
I was trying to turn down Trescott. That's where I used to turn and take just the road I was used to. But there was yellow tape up. And so when I tried to turn, I couldn't turn. So I made a 3-point turn and kept going on Centerville.
And so you encountered a police roadblock at that location?
Yes.
Okay, couldn't go any further because there was a police car and some yellow tape, right?
Right.
And that was, you were able to see that from the intersection there, or you actually turned onto Trescott?
I tried to turn and then I couldn't go through. So I turned around and kept going.
How far down Trescott did you proceed before you turned around?
Just until the tape.
Well, I thought she said she couldn't turn on Trescott or she couldn't go down Trescott further because of the tape. I feel like this story has changed.
Which
Contact.
Did you attempt to call Dan Markel when you encountered the roadblock?
No.
Why?
Did you attempt to call your kid's daycare after encountering the roadblock?
No.
Why not?
Did you notify anyone that you observed the roadblock?
I was talking on the phone at the time, so I may have said to the person I was talking to, oh, I'm trying to drive, but I have to turn around, hold on.
Okay, that was probably a bad question. Did you attempt to investigate in any way or ask anyone what the roadblock was about?
I wasn't concerned about the roadblock.
Why not?
Was Mr. Markel scheduled to leave town the day after he was
You weren't concerned because you know the reason why they were there?
killed? Do you know how, if the killers knew that he was leaving town the next day, do you know how that information got to them?
I don't.
You don't, really?
Did Mr. Markel leave you a message on the morning of his murder?
He did.
Okay, and did he indicate on that message that he was going to the gym that morning?
He did.
And specifically, did it tell you he'd be at the gym between 9:15 and 10:30?
I don't remember, but that sounds about right.
Did you talk to your brother Charlie on the morning of the murder?
I did.
And does an 18-minute conversation at 9:30 a.m. that day sound correct?
It does.
Do you remember the nature?
That would be funny that if Donna gets convicted, that would be funny if Wendy buys like a one-way ticket to Vietnam. I'm not saying she will. She won't, but that would be funny if she did. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Of that conversation?
I do. I didn't purchase the TV, so I didn't know how much the TV cost. And so I called him to find out if it made more sense to get the TV repaired or buy a new TV, because I didn't know what the delta was there.
Okay. Can you tell the jury one way or the other for sure whether you mentioned Dan Markel's travel plans to Charlie during that 18-minute phone call?
I can't say for sure, but I don't see why I would have brought it up.
What about telling Charlie about Dan's schedule? That way he can tell the hitman where Dan was going to be so they can murder him.
Did you recall on the trip to South Florida, just within 48 hours of the shooting, getting a call from Craig Isom?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened with that call?
I talked to him for a while. He mentioned that he might want to have DNA samples of the kids. We were already halfway down. We'd been in the car for about 4 hours with the boys.
Who's
and
the we in that sentence?
I was with my parents
Okay.
and the kids.
Yep.
We talked, the call broke up, and he never followed up.
Was it like a, you're breaking up?
I told him I was having a hard time hearing.
But were you faking that, or was it really breaking up?
I was not faking that.
Are you sure you weren't faking it? She didn't want to talk to the detective anymore.
Were you happy to be out of Tallahassee when you were able to return to South Florida?
No, I was not happy.
Did you send a text message on January 1st of 2016 that's contrary to that?
But it says unknown, so I don't know who I'm talking to.
Well, that's not the question. The question is, did you say, so happy I don't live there? And the person says, I bet it's a shithole. Remember that?
I don't remember this, no, but I do see that I said it. I don't know who I'm talking to here, and
Would it surprise you to learn you were speaking to your brother, Charlie Adelson?
I don't know if it would surprise me. So, no.
Now, if you guys are not familiar with this case, they changed the last names of Dan Markel's children with Wendi from Markel to Adelson. This is all within a year that Dan Markel was murdered. When they enrolled the kids in kindergarten and preschool, this was like months after when they relocated everyone to Miami. Although on the registration it says Markel, Wendi told the school to call the kids by Adelson. Not only that, the older son, she changed the middle name that was attributed to a family member from Dan Markel's family. So people are saying that it's as if she's essentially erasing Dan Markel from the children's lives. Now, Wendy's going to come up with this argument saying that, well, I was in fear of their safety, so that's why I wanted to change her last name. It's for safety reasons. But why go as far as changing your son's middle name? We all know the reason why. It's because you wanted to completely get rid of Dan Markel from your children.
Where was Dan Markel buried?
In Toronto.
Were you or your children in attendance at his funeral?
No.
Why not? Oh man, that silence is deafening. I wonder if Georgia did that on purpose.
Were you in any way involved in the plot to kill your ex-husband?
No.
Did you maybe know it was going to happen but not know the details?
I did not know it was going to happen, and I did not know any details.
Did you provide any information, even unknowingly in hindsight, that you think could have been used to assist the murderers?
I don't think so. I didn't provide any information.
What information do you have regarding your mother's involvement in the plot to kill your ex-husband?
I don't have information.
But you do admit that your brother said he looked into hiring a hitman to kill Dan Markel.
I don't. I admit that my brother made a tasteless joke repeatedly about buying me a TV because it was cheaper than hiring a hitman.
But then someone did hire a hitman who did kill Dan Markel, right?
Yes, that happened.
Was part of the plot to kill your ex for you to have plausible deniability or to know very little about it?
I was not involved in any plot to kill Danny.
Were you shielded from the plot because, I don't know, you couldn't be trusted to keep a secret?
I was not involved in any plot to kill Danny.
So this part is interesting. Craig Isom has already testified. He testified on day one. I think he's going to be brought back again to testify because it seems like Wendy's trying to say that the reason why she mentioned shooting during the police interview is because she was told about this previously in the police car. I wonder if Craig Isom's going to say, no, I never told her it was a shooting. I don't know how she knew it was a shooting.
When you were approached at the restaurant, you weren't yet told that this was a shooting, were you?
I was not.
You were only told something happened with your ex-husband.
I wonder if she brought up the tape being at Trescott. Like, oh, wait, did something happen? Oh my God, I actually drove by there and there was tape. Is that because of my family? Only she does.
So you didn't know what this was about at all when you were in the police car?
In the car, they told me.
Okay, in the car they told you what?
They said, your ex-husband has been shot.
Okay. So that you learned that information prior to getting into the interview room?
Yes.
Long day for Wendi. Now we're jumping to cross-examination of Wendi Adelson by Jackie, the defense team. It starts off with Jackie calling out Wendi about hanging out with Katie McBenoit.
There was a picture of you with her at the beach, and there was another young lady there. You recall that?
I recall the picture, yes.
I think your testimony was that really you only knew her with Charlie. Is that right?
That's right.
Was Charlie at the beach?
No.
Oh.
Your mother wasn't there either, was she?
No.
And of course, it's the defense's job, but they're going to have to remind the jury what a great person Donna was and the good qualities listed about her.
I think you once described her as being kind, empathetic, and very loving and sensitive person. Do you recall that?
I don't recall that, but that sounds right.
That she radiates positivity.
Yes.
She has a very loving and respectful and fun relationship with my dad. They are very much in love. Now it's been 54 years.
It has.
You said your mom was completely selfless.
Yes.
That's the opposite of selfish.
It is.
Means she's caring more about others than she does about herself.
Yes, ma'am.
And what she did was for others.
Yes.
Never doing anything for herself.
Correct.
Your mother actually spent quite a bit of time helping you with the boys in Tallahassee, correct?
She did, yes.
She would go home and take care of things there, but she would return.
Yes.
So a substantial amount of each month, she was there assisting you with the children.
Yes.
And that's almost an 8-hour trip, correct?
It is, yes.
and you went ziplining. Do you remember that?
Yes, we went to Costa Rica.
And after the ziplining is when you told them that you were pregnant, correct?
I went ziplining pregnant, yes.
Is she looking over at the jury? Donna, what are you looking at over there?
Did she ever suggest in writing or to you personally that Danny deserved to be harmed? Did she?
Never.
Never said he needed to be killed?
Never.
Never suggested any harm to him in any way?
Never.
The $1 million offer was not to bribe him in what sounds like an illegal sense. It was an incentive for him to relocate himself to Miami, correct?
Yes.
Oh.
That was my
Oh, what a great rewarding of that. Okay.
understanding, yes.
But here's the thing. Donna kept saying bribe in the emails.
Does she say the word bribe? Donna Adelson.
Yes.
Man, it's a good thing that they had that other guy testify before Wendi because he just destroys Wendy's credibility.
Your father sent to you regarding the appointment that he had made for the TV to be repaired, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And on the front page, you can see where he's forwarding it to you, and it says, "Love, Dad," right?
Yes.
And then he tells you when the appointment's going to be, Friday the 18th between 8 and 12, right?
Yes.
Scroll down, there's some questions under date submitted, right?
Yes.
Whether the TV is wall mounted,
Yes.
what the size of the TV is.
Yes.
If it's mounted over 6 feet high. The next one says what?
Would you be willing to accept a sooner appointment if one became available? And the answer to that one is yes.
Thank you.
I'll comment on that later on.
But the week before he died, your mother was babysitting for Danny, wasn't she?
Yes.
And nothing but pleasantries between the two of them.
That's right.
And in fact, she actually made him banana bread specifically the way he liked it, right?
It was his favorite.
Without nuts, but with chocolate.
Maybe to throw him off. I don't know, man. Hold on a second. Banana bread.
You actually asked your mom if she'd go out to coffee with you. You remember that?
I don't remember that.
And you told her then that you were going to leave Danny and get a divorce, didn't you?
That sounds right, but I don't remember that.
Okay. And in fact, she suggested counseling to you, and you told her you guys had already been in counseling and it didn't work. Isn't that right?
We had been in counseling and it hadn't worked, but again, it sounds like something that could have happened, but I just don't remember the coffee.
I'll also make a comment about this coffee date later on in the video as well. So I find this part a little bit suspicious, but you guys let me know what you think. Wendi writes a letter to her friend Renee, and this is before Dan Markel was murdered.
The last bullet point down at the bottom, it says, "I've been coming to a place in the last few months where I have realized that I want to keep my job. It allows me the maximum amount of flexibility to spend with my kids while allowing the freedom for intellectual exploration, one-on-one mentoring with students, and meaningful work in the community."
What if she was only putting this in writing to her friend? That way, if they ever try to use it, if they ever try to say that she was involved in murdering Dan Marco because she hated Tallahassee, you could be like, "Oh, well, actually, I wrote this to my friend. What do you mean? I love this area. I love this employment. What's it called? I love what I'm doing right now. I love working at FSU."
I don't care that Jibbers told my colleagues that I stole from him and that I am mentally ill. Nasty things are said in divorce, and people know that, right?
Yes.
Tallahassee isn't ever where I wanted to live, but it's where the job is. And it's where my boy's father is, which means they don't have to constantly be flying on planes or driving in cars to accomplish our custody situation, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure if this was to Renee or not. Yeah, you mentioned Renee. So this is on June the 4th of 2013, correct?
Yes.
And we're approaching the hearing date on the relocation motion, which is set for June the 18th, right?
Yes.
And in here, you're expressing some concerns over what you've been through in the divorce. But you said, and I think the state referred to this, that Mr. Markel had sent you a long message about how you could be doing all of the divorce stuff so differently in the spirit of love and joy, where we get together and talk about our vision for the boys and for our future. And I won't say what you said after that, but at this point, you're kind of agreeing with him. You want to do it peacefully, right?
Yes.
And you talk about the one alternative is you could call Gary. Now, Gary is the gentleman who was kind of offering you a position in Miami, right?
Gary was a partner at the law firm where a position was offered to me.
Okay. And your plan was to have him come and testify at the relocation hearing about the job that he would be giving you if you relocated there, correct?
Yes.
And you had other people who were going to testify there as well on your behalf, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so you say one alternative is you call Gary and say, "I've changed my mind. I don't think it's best for my kids to move them to South Florida."
Yeah, but she didn't do that, though. I think he did come up and he tried to testify. It's like her actions are different than what she's putting in writing.
Appreciate you saving the job for me, but I'm not going to come to South Florida, correct?
Yes.
And then you call your brother and say, "I love you, Charlie, but I'm going to stay in Tallahassee. I know you don't agree with my decision, but that's what's best for me and the kids right now. I hope one day you'll understand." That was something else you're considering, correct?
Right.
And then call your parents and say basically the same thing. And if they wanted to come up anytime and visit you and the boys in Tallahassee, they were free to do so, right?
Yes.
But that's like they've always been doing, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
What was the response, though? What was Charlie and Donna's response? It was like, "Oh my gosh, we totally support you. Yes, you should live in Tallahassee. You're right. You're completely right. It's better for the boys. It's better for your family." Were they all also in on this as well to pretend that they were okay with her living in Tallahassee and not coming down to South Florida? Or can we get more emails?
So you think if you take relocation off the table, that it will give you an opportunity to discuss things with Mr. Markell and hopefully work them out, right?
Yes.
On the next page, you talk about what the alternative vision is, and that's what you currently have planned, which is to have Gary fly up to testify at the hearing, right?
Yes.
Your mom would testify, right?
Yes.
They would fly up and spend days with you, correct?
Yes.
You expected at that time the hearing would last 1 to 2 days, right?
Yes.
And you were concerned that you would go through all of that, spending more money, being more stressed. And then you say, for the chance to save face with my family and to be given an opportunity I don't actually want, to live with them in South Florida. That's what you said, right?
Well, I say an opportunity I don't actually want with all of my heart, but maybe part of it,
Okay.
to live with them in South Florida.
All right. And then you say, so I am willing to put myself through all of this just to keep up appearances with my parents and brother that I want to be living down in South Florida or down south with them, even though I don't want to. That's what you said, right?
I say even though I don't want to give up my current flexible job where I get to spend maximum time with my kids so I can be with them.
Okay. And that was June the 4th of 2013, right?
Yes.
And what you end up choosing was the second alternative, correct?
I went through with the hearing.
Okay. And
I don't know if this looks good for Donna, though.
you gave some testimony, correct?
Yes.
And what happened was the judge kind of called a timeout, right?
Seems like her actions are very different than what she was writing in these emails to her friend.
I don't remember a timeout.
At some point, she wanted to speak to counsel. Is that right?
I'm sorry, I don't remember that part of her speaking to counsel.
Do you remember the judge making some comments about the children hadn't been harmed and since he hadn't pulled out their toenails?
I do remember the toenail comment, yes.
So she wasn't leaning towards relocation, correct?
No.
Okay, so even though you had other witnesses, you didn't proceed with the hearing, right?
Well, I think we had the hearing and the judge decided.
You didn't call all your witnesses, did you?
I don't remember.
And your mother actually stayed outside for the testimony of that hearing with your dad, correct?
I don't remember, but I remember asking her to stay outside if she was going to testify.
Okay. And you came outside at some point and told your parents that relocation was denied, correct?
Correct.
Once the final judgment was entered, the issue of relocation was over, right?
Yes.
Relocation from July 31st of 2013 until the time that Mr. Markell was murdered was never an issue again, was it?
It was never an issue from the day it was decided on July 31st, 2013. That's when it ended.
Certainly after the final judgment, correct?
Yes.
And that's the end of the discussion about relocation, right?
Yes.
Ms. Adelson, if you look at that order that's entered by the court, besides saying it's denied, it says something pretty important, and I think the state pointed this out in its opening. It says that this denial is with prejudice.
Yes, ma'am.
Of the wife's petition for request to relocate with the minor children. And you're a lawyer, so you know that with prejudice means this is done. This topic in this divorce is over.
Yes, with prejudice means it's a final decision of the court.
But what it says right before that is, as such.
And that's a huge blow to the Adelson family, and probably especially to Donna, whose ego was into this game versus Dan Markell.
The parties stipulate to the denial with prejudice of the wife's petition. You see that?
Yes, I do.
So what happened is after the judge says, if their toenails haven't been pulled out, I'm not thinking relocation, you actually stipulated to denial with prejudice, right?
Yes.
You did not tell your parents that you stipulated to denial with prejudice, did you?
I don't remember any conversation there, really.
So not knowing that it was denied with prejudice, your mother thought you still had an opportunity to get it up through your final hearing, right?
I believe so.
And so she kept writing these ugly things and giving you all of these ugly suggestions, right?
You're telling me that Donna didn't know? You're telling me Donna didn't know this? You're telling me they didn't discuss this when Donna was outside of the courtroom waiting to testify, and then she finds out that it's all done and she didn't need to testify? You're telling me that Wendy didn't come out and tell Donna this? Wasn't Harvey in the courtroom listening? I think they're trying to say that, oh, Donna didn't know that this was like a last final decision from the judge. And that's the reason why Donna kept trying to get Dan to change his mind. Not that, oh, this was a final decision and that's why Donna decided to kill him. I have a hard time believing that.
She did write those emails.
If you had told her you stipulated with prejudice, that's probably not what you wanted, Mom, but that would have been the end of it, right?
I don't know. I would just be guessing.
So your mother doesn't know, when you get out of the hearing on June the 20th, that you stipulated that this is a forever decision, so she writes these ugly emails, right?
Why wouldn't Wendy tell Donna that, though? Wendy didn't tell Donna that? Wendy's attorney didn't discuss? They didn't all like talk about this together after the hearing ended? I have a hard time believing that.
May not have understood that it was a final decision of the court.
It was a decision of the court because you stipulated to it, Ms. Adelson, didn't you?
I did stipulate to
And
it.
she didn't know it. She thought you had up until the final hearing. So she's marching along, trying to come up with more suggestions of how you can pressure Danny and get him to agree for you to relocate, even though you know it's dead, right?
I knew that it was a final decision.
And after July the 31st, when she thought it was a final decision, she wrote no more emails suggesting you do these crazy things to still try and get relocation, did she?
I don't remember the dates of the email.
Isn't it true that you've stated that you knew on your fancy wedding day, when you were all dolled up and feeling like you were an actor in someone else's show, you knew it on your honeymoon when you were enjoying the vacation but not thrilled to be there with him?
What?
You said, I'm not sure I liked him, let alone loved him, but I was eager to start a life with someone and he wanted to do it with me. You recall saying that?
I don't recall saying that, no. I see that I said that in 2013.
You would agree that when Danny Markell was murdered on June the 18th of 2014, your little boys lost their father for the rest of their life.
On the day that he was murdered was July 18th, and yes, my boys lost their father.
They're growing up as 11 years have passed without his influence in their life in any way.
Just how
Isn't
they
that
wanted
correct?
it.
I wouldn't say without his influence in any way, but yes, they've grown up without their father.
He's not here to give them advice.
He is not.
He can't come to any of their functions, sports, anything else.
Correct.
They're not eating kosher like they would have with their father.
They are not.
They don't have him at all.
They don't have him in their lives day to day, no.
Because on July the 18th of 2014, he was brutally murdered in his driveway. Isn't that true?
That is true.
And you testified on direct that anybody in your family that had anything to do with it should be held responsible. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And that includes you, doesn't it?
Anyone who's responsible.
Oh boy, I did not expect Jackie to end that way. Now the state's going to come back for a redirect of Wendi Adelson.
I don't actually remember stipulating. I mean, I see it in the order, but I don't remember actively saying anything or participating in a stipulation.
In fact, when you've testified about this previously, didn't you indicate you didn't know what with prejudice meant?
I think it's not something that comes up in my daily practice, and so at the time I had forgotten that it meant that it was a final order.
All right, and it was suggested or said on cross that you didn't tell your mom it was final and she was misled and she thought there was still room for it, right?
That is
Oh, that's what she's saying. Like, yes, I went to law school. I got a law degree. I was practicing, but you know, the term with prejudice is something that doesn't really pop up, you know, in my day-to-day life. So I completely forgot what it meant. Is that where we're going with, Wendi? Are you telling me that your lawyer, Kristen, didn't discuss this with you? Because wouldn't there be a follow-up discussion saying like, okay, well, it was without prejudice. That means that, okay, we still got this. We can still fight this. We got to go with the plan of action. You're telling me your attorney didn't explain to you and your family members what the judge's decision was?
Email from.
the email is from my mom and dad's email address to a friend of theirs.
Who's the friend?
The Klegermans. I think it's Vicky, the woman in the relationship.
In this email, does she indicate to the Klingermans that there is no chance at the appellate level for appeal of your relocation?
Yes, that's what the email says.
All right, and is that email dated 6/20?
Oh no, is the lie falling apart? The lie that Wendi is pretending not to know what with prejudice meant and that she forgot? The lie that Donna didn't understand the finality of that hearing? Oh, is the lie falling apart right now? Oh my goodness, guys. Oh boy, what was his email?
Yes, that's what the email says.
All right, and is that email dated 6/25/13?
Yes.
So 5 days after the order was issued, your mom did know that that order was final, based on this.
Based on that email, yes.
You were asked questions about, your mom never suggested any harm to Dan Markell to you, but she did want to bribe him, yes?
Yes.
Take control from him, weren't those her words?
Yes.
Aggravate him,
Yes.
scare him,
I don't remember scare him, but I believe that was part of it.
Give him some grief.
Yes.
Take something from him.
Yes.
Show that fucker what would make him absolutely miserable.
Yes.
But definitely not kill him, right?
I don't know what the question is.
Donna was caring and devoted to your boys. You were asked about that. That's true, right?
Yes.
In fact, she maybe cared a little too much about your life and you and what was going on with you sometimes, right?
I don't know that you can care too much.
Even the Nazi uniform craziness came from her version of some kind of place of love. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Because although her lawyers tried to downplay this, she was suggesting a baptism for these kids, right?
Yes.
She said she looked into it and could get it done in 2 weeks, right?
I believe that's what it said.
And didn't she justify the means or claim that this would be harmless to your children because it was just like playing dress up to them, right?
Yes.
Just like Jake the Pirates.
Yes.
So I would say watching it back again, editing this video, it was pretty rough for Wendy. Quick little huggy to dad, but seemed very, a little cold and lacking emotion. But she's like, okay, bye dad, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Did you want to instruct him?
And you know what? The day doesn't end there. It actually continues on with the eldest Adelson son of Donna and Harvey, who's going to be testifying and essentially calling the family out, especially Donna. But I'm going to separate it in a different video, and that should be coming out really soon. See you guys then.